The fluorescent lights of Megamart buzzed overhead, casting a harsh, artificial glow over the self-checkout stations. The rhythmic beeping of scanners and the robotic voice repeating, "Please place item in the bagging area," filled the air, a symphony of modern efficiency, unless you were Karen Whitmore. She stood frozen in lane 7, her designer handbag dangling precariously from her elbow as the machine flashed its infuriating message. "Unexpected item in bagging area." Her grip tightened around the organic kale she just scanned. Again, this was the third time. "This stupid thing is broken," she snapped, slamming the leafy greens onto the scale with enough force to make the teenager bagging next to her flinch. The machine remained unmoved. "I swear to God." Jake Martinez, the lone cashier overseeing the self-checkout maze, dragged a hand down his face. He'd been working retail long enough to recognize the warning signs. The sharp inhale, the way her acrylic nails tapped against the screen like a predator testing its prey. He braced himself as he approached. "Ma'am, if you just lift the bag and set it back down." "I know how it works." Karen whirled on him, eyes blazing. "I'm not an idiot. Your machine is defective." Jake fought the urge to sigh. "The weight sensors can be finicky. Sometimes if you, ***. I don't care about your sensors." Her voice climbed an octave, drawing stares from nearby shoppers. "I shouldn't have to deal with this. Where's a real cashier?" Jake gestured vaguely to the empty lanes behind him. "This is how we do checkout now." For a heartbeat, Karen just stared as if he'd spoken in another language. Then her lips curled into something between a sneer and a snarl. "This is outrageous. I spend thousands here every year and you expect me to, what, work for free?" A stifled laugh came from 2 lanes over. Karen's head snapped toward the sound, zeroing in on Dev Patel, a college kid with his phone angled just a little too deliberately in her direction. "Are you recording me?" she hissed. Dev's thumbs hovered over his screen. "Oh, no." The lie was flimsy, but Karen had bigger prey. She turned back to Jake, jabbing a finger toward the ceiling. "Give me your manager. Now, ***. Jake didn't move. "She's gonna say the same thing I did. Now." The demand cracked through the air like a whip. Conversations halted. A baby in a cart started crying. Even the self-checkout voice seemed to hesitate before chiming in again. "Please remove item from bagging area." Karen's eye twitched. Then footsteps. Linda Carter, Megamart store manager and veteran of 1,000 Karen battles, arrived with the weary stride of someone who'd already heard the commotion from 3 aisles away. "What seems to be the problem?" Karen launched in before Jake could speak. "Your employee refuses to help me, your machines are garbage, and I am not leaving until I'm checked out by a human being. ***. Linda didn't blink. "Ma'am, we don't have traditional registers anymore. It's self-checkout or nothing." "Then I'll take nothing." Karen snatched her kale off the scale and hurled it into her cart, sending a bag of avocados tumbling to the floor. "Enjoy losing a Platinum Rewards member." She stormed toward the exit, her wedge heels clicking like gunshots against the tile, until the security sensors beeped. Karen froze. Linda's voice was ice. "You didn't pay for that." Silence. Then, with the entire store watching, Karen slowly turned, her face burning crimson as she flung the kale onto the nearest conveyor belt. "Keep it." The automatic doors slid open, swallowing her dramatic exit whole. Jake exhaled. Dev's thumb hit post. And somewhere in the cloud, a viral storm began to brew. Karen Whitmore's rage didn't dissipate when she left Megamart, it metastasized. By the time she slammed her car door, her fingers trembled against the steering wheel, her mind replaying every indignity. The machine's condescending beeps, the cashier's infuriating calm, that smug kid with his phone. But this wasn't just about kale. This was about principle. She jabbed the ignition, her Lexus roaring to life like an extension of her fury. As she peeled out of the parking lot, her phone buzzed. A notification from her neighborhood Facebook group. Normally, she scrolled through it with the smug satisfaction of someone who'd never missed an HOA meeting, but today her stomach dropped. Saw someone having a meltdown at Megamart. "Oh, Karen much?" Attached was a blurry off-angle shot of her mid-scream, mouth wide enough to swallow the camera whole. Her breath hitched. No. No. She stabbed at the screen, typing with violent precision. "That was private. I was assaulted by incompetent staff." The replies piled up faster than she could delete them. Assaulted by a self-checkout machine? Karen versus technology, the sequel we didn't ask for. Her phone chimed again, a text from her daughter, Emily. "Mom, are you trending?" Karen's blood ran cold. 3 hours later, she sat hunched over her laptop in her immaculate living room, the blue glow of the screen etching shadows under her eyes. The video had spread like a virus. TikTok, Twitter, even Instagram Reels. The comments were a massacre. Someone get this lady a Xanax and a time machine. Megamart should charge her for the free entertainment. Worst of all? The edits. Someone had remixed her rant into a dance track. Another had deep-faked her screaming at a Roomba. Her face, her real face, was now a meme, a shorthand for irrational outrage. She slammed the laptop shut. This wasn't just humiliation. This was erasure. She was a respected member of the community, or at least she had been before the internet decided she was a punchline. Her phone rang. The caller ID made her stiffen. Megamart Corporate. She snatched it up, already composing her diatribe. Finally. Do you have any idea the trauma? ***. Ms. Whitmore, interrupted a voice so polished it could have been AI. We've reviewed the incident. While we regret your frustration, our employees followed protocol. Any further harassment will result in a trespass order. The dial tone buzzed in her ear. For the first time in years, Karen Whitmore felt something unfamiliar. Powerlessness. Then, like a lightning strike, **clarity, **. If they wanted a villain, she'd give them one. She opened her laptop and began to type. To whom it may concern, my name is Karen Whitmore and I am a victim. The war wasn't over. It had just gone viral.
The email blast went out at 3:17 a.m., fired into the digital void like a distress flare. Karen had spent the night hunched over her keyboard, her manifesto growing longer with every sip of Chardonnay. By dawn, it had been CC'd to every megamart, executive, local news outlet, and even the mayor's office, a 2,000-word epic of corporate betrayal, technological tyranny, and the slow death of customer service. She attached the video as Exhibit A, certain it would prove her victimhood. The internet had other plans. By noon, her inbox was a graveyard of auto-replies and silence, except for one response from the Daily Sentinel. Not from a reporter. From their satire editor. Ms. Whitmore, we'd love to run your letter in next week's Outrage of the Month column. She hurled her phone across the room. It skidded under the couch, still vibrating with notifications. Meanwhile, in a cramped apartment across town, Dev Patel stared at his exploding TikTok analytics with the dazed thrill of someone who'd accidentally launched a missile. His video had hit 1 million views. Brands were sliding into his DMs. And now, golden opportunity. A producer from Trending Trauma, a viral news YouTube channel, wanted an interview. Tell us everything. The message read. What was Karen like in real life? Dev grinned. Karen's downfall came not from a single blow, but 1,000 paper cuts. A local meme page photoshopped her face onto a Terminator poster. Self-checkout, Judgment Day. A barista at her usual cafe accidentally wrote Karen on her latte. Even her Pilates instructor, usually a sycophant, choked back laughter. When Karen ranted about digital disrespect, then came the final humiliation, Trending Trauma's video. Karen versus machines, the battle for civilization. The thumbnail was her frozen mid-scream, eyes bulging, with a cartoon self-checkout, machine grinning beside her. Dev's interview played over dramatic reenactments, complete with a Law and Order sound effect when he described her throwing the kale. The comments section was a feeding frenzy. This lady unironically said, I demand a human, like she's fighting Skynet. Plot twist. Karen is the robot. No human is that obsessed with bagging areas. Karen watched it on her phone in the Megamart parking lot, her knuckles white around the steering wheel. She'd come back for one thing, a paper receipt. Proof of purchase, proof of order, proof that she still existed in a system that hadn't forgotten her. The cashier, a new kid, barely 18, took one look at her and paled. Ma'am, we're still self-checkout only. She didn't scream. She didn't even speak. just turned on her heel and walked out, the automatic doors sighing behind her like a last goodbye. Her phone buzzed. An email from the HOA. Noise complaint. Attached was a screenshot from Ring footage. Her, last night, bellowing at a delivery drone to stop spying. Karen closed her eyes. The war was lost, but as she drove away, a new sign loomed in Megamart's window. Coming soon. AI checkout, no. Scanning required. Somewhere, a camera caught the exact moment her soul left her body. Dev's next video already had a title, Karen's Final Boss. The final blow came not from Megamart, not from the internet trolls, but from where Karen least expected it, her own reflection. She stood frozen in the cosmetics aisle of a drugstore 3 towns over. She couldn't show her face at Megamart anymore, staring at a display of anti-aging serums when she saw it playing on a display TV, herself, but not as she remembered. The footage showed a wild-eyed woman screaming about bagging areas, her carefully highlighted hair frizzing like a startled cat, her designer blazer wrinkled from flailing. That couldn't be her. That wasn't who she was. Her phone buzzed. Emily, again. The 5th call this week. Karen knew what she wanted. Mom, you need to stop. Just apologize. As if apologizing could erase the memes, the parody songs, the way the barista at Starbucks now asked every customer if they wanted their receipt. Then the notification popped up. Megamart official has tagged you in a post. Her thumb hovered. This was a trap. It had to be. But like watching a car crash in slow motion, she tapped. The video opened with cheerful elevator music. A smiling corporate spokesperson stood in front of the very same self-checkout that had started it all. At Megamart, we listen to our customers, she chirped. Which is why we're proud to introduce the Karen-proof checkout. The camera panned to reveal a gleaming new machine with extra-large ASCII buttons, a patience reminder. Screen, and the killing stroke, I demand to speak to the manager. Button that triggered a pre-recorded customer service message. The comment section erupted. OMG, they really named it after her! This is the best corporate clapback in history. Karen's vision tunneled. The serum in her hand slipped, smashing. On the tile in a burst of glass and hyaluronic acid. A store employee came running, took one look at her face and froze. Oh my God, you're... She didn't wait for the rest. The cabin was Emily's idea. Just get offline for a while, Mom. Please. It sat nestled in the woods, 5 miles from the nearest town, with no cell service and, blessedly, no self-checkouts. Karen told herself it was temporary, a retreat, not a surrender. But on her first trip to the local general store, she froze in the doorway. There, between the fishing tackle and the canned goods, stood a single ancient cash register, and behind it, a human cashier, an actual person waiting to ring up her items. You all right, ma'am? The cashier asked as Karen stood trembling with her basket of groceries. Something inside her cracked. Yes, she whispered. Then louder. Yes, I'm fine. The cashier nodded and began scanning. Beep, 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 the sound. Of a world still turning, still making space for people who needed it. Karen watched, mesmerized, as her items slid into paper bags, real paper, not plastic, without a single error message. When the cashier handed her the receipt, their fingers brushed. Human contact. No likes, no shares, no commentary. Just 2 people existing in the same moment. Karen stepped outside into the crisp mountain air. Somewhere in some Megamart, a Karen-proof checkout was delighting customers. Somewhere Dev was probably making another video. But here there were only trees and quiet, and the distant call of a crow. Her phone, when she turned it on back at the cabin, had one new notification, a Facebook memory from a year ago. Her, smiling with Emily at a restaurant. Before the meltdowns, before the memes, before she became that Karen, she deleted the app. Down the mountain, in a suburban living room, Emily refreshed her mom's profile one last time before closing the laptop. The screen went dark, reflecting her relieved smile. On the table beside her, a printed photo, her and Karen at that restaurant, sat waiting for its frame. Somewhere between the pixels and the paper, between the viral storms and the quiet moments, balance was returning. Not perfect, not permanent, but enough. The crow called again. Karen looked up, but it was already gone, just a rustle of leaves marking where it had been.